What's going on, everybody? This is Kaplan and crew, and it's just the crew today, Browner. It's myself, Alex Padilla, and John Browner with you guys. Scott up in Mammoth. He'll check in with us tomorrow. And if you're in the Mammoth area, look out for Scott. He's going to be at the Palooza Festival, and he's going to be at Mammoth Holistics as well this weekend. So me and Browner got you guys here today and tomorrow, and then the gang gets back together on Monday. Browner, it's a Thursday, the first time me and you get to take control of the show on the national audience. By the way, rest in peace, 1090. We talked about it a lot.
RIP.
Scott talked about it a lot yesterday, but no longer on terrestrial radio, exclusively here on SportsGrid and Sirius Channel 159. Also, you can watch us on our YouTube, our Twitter/X, and Facebook pages as well at Kaplan and Crew. Like I said, Alex Padilla, John Browner with you guys. If you're unfamiliar with the show, welcome. Browner, what up, man? How you doing today?
Just basking in the glow of this victory last night. It was a big night in San Diego for events. Obviously, you went and watched people kick a ball around. And
Hey.
then, I watched the Padres kick the Dodgers around. Clayton Kershaw. Again, it was nice doing you, brother. But that one, keep coming back. Because every time it appears the Padres see Clayton Kershaw, it's a good night or a day.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember the days of Trent Grisham hitting home runs against him and
Right.
throwing deuces at him as he's rounding third base. So, yeah, Kershaw against the Padres, not the most intimidating person so lately. And you know what?
Right.
To be fair to the guy, second start of the season, but he didn't look great. And the Padres capitalized. And the Padres sweep. I don't care if it's a 2-game. I was with a Dodger fan last night. He goes, "You can't call it a sweep." And I was like, I'm sorry. Was there 2 games and y'all lost both? That's a sweep. And Browner, believe it or not, for the first time since 2010, they're going to win the season series. The Padres. Would you look at that? Would you look at? Hey, listen, man. If you're a Dodger fan watching this show, you know that you've dominated the Padres in the regular season for obviously since 2010. But it feels like forever. Every time the Dodgers came to town, it would be blue at Petco Park. Every time the Dodgers came to town, we knew we were probably going to lose. Yeah, they do that everywhere. But yeah, it gets exaggerated when it's in San Diego because it's a rival.
Right.
But when they do it in Houston, they did it in New York to the Yankees. So they do it everywhere. Shout out to the Dodger fans for that. I mean, that's cool. But still, it's been basically presumed losses every time the Dodgers come to San Diego or anytime the Padres go to LA. It's just presumed losses. And I remember last year celebrating the fact that the MLB changed their schedule. So now every team plays every team. So we're like, okay, cool. We don't got to play the Dodgers 25 times anymore. We only got to play them like 12 or 13 because that's how bad the Dodgers kicked the Padres ass year in and year out. So for the Dodgers or the Padres to win a season series, and by the way, they still play a couple more games throughout the season, but they're 7-2, 7-3 so far in the season, which guarantees a season series win. That's a big deal, man. That's a big deal. And I know, I know there's a lot more baseball. I know they didn't win anything. I didn't go to downtown last night to throw a parade. I don't know if there was a parade before the Dodger fans started saying that, but I will say, it just feels different this year when they play that team. And listen, Browner, I'll play both sides. You can play the one side. No Mookie, no Freeman, no Muncy. I get it. Because we're going to hear it in the comments. You're going to hear it on social media. They got a depleted Dodger team against them.
But you know who you do got? You got Superman. What you mean? You got old phony over there. What you mean? I don't. This the moment. This is what I'm talking. This is what I have been talking about. This is the time. You got these guys out of the lineup. He's supposed to be Herculean. Okay, the myth of Ohtani is supposed to be gargantuan. He is Godzilla.
Yeah.
With a baseball bat. He should be carrying them right now. They should be falling in the standings. They should be able to hold water because they got Godzilla. They got Godzilla at DH.
So if you're a Dodger fan, to your point, for the first time, I'm just going to throw stats all day today, I think. For the first time since 2018, the Dodgers finished a month of the season with a losing record. They finished July with a losing record, 11-13 in July. They have not had a losing month since 2018. That's how depleted they are, and that's how Ohtani's not carrying him through that month. And listen, his numbers individually, no surprise. We've seen it in Los Angeles. We saw it for years. The guy could throw up Babe Ruth, gargantuan, legendary, Herculean numbers. That doesn't necessarily translate to wins because baseball's not that kind of sport where one guy can carry you.
So, in addition to that, I think last night, Clayton Kershaw not getting a strikeout or something to that nature, I can't remember the direct stat, was like the first time he had gone without a strikeout in an appearance in
There
like
you go.
forever.
From
Yes,
ESPN Stats and Info, Clayton Kershaw's streak of 423 regular season starts with at least one strikeout was the longest since the mound was moved to its current distance, 1883. That streak ended yesterday. And if I'm not mistaken, that's the only game in Clayton Kershaw's career where he didn't record a strikeout. It was a great Tuesday, Wednesday. If you're a Padre fan, a great Tuesday, Wednesday.
Yeah.
You got,
listen, man.
You know what's awesome too is like you're also like, yeah, you had Dylan Cease on the mound yesterday, but you are also not doing it without, you didn't have Tatis out there, you didn't have Musgrove out there, you didn't have Darvish out there.
The people who are saying, oh, the Dodgers don't have XYZ, I would argue that the Padres missing pieces are more vital. Joe Musgrove being out is vital to not only to the rotation of the pitching staff, but to really the vibe of the team. He's the face of the organization, quote unquote. Out between him and Manny, Darvish has been one of the staples in this staff since the day he got here.
You want to have an ESPN? You want to have an ESPN first take debate to start the show?
I'm always
you ready? You ready for this question? You ready for this? Who's more important to the Dodgers, Mookie Betts or Shohei Ohtani?
Oh, Mookie Betts. Mookie Betts. Mookie Betts. Again, but y'all know where I'm. But y'all know where I'm at that. Y'all know where I'm at with that. So that's not a shock to anybody. That's not a shock to anybody. Ohtani's a great player. He's a great player. He ain't making plays in the field. He's a great player. Mookie Betts can do things at the bat that Ohtani can do, but he can also make spectacular plays in the field. He can put runs on the board. He can take runs away. So for me, y'all already know where I'm at. And G Mellows, who hurt you, bro? Who hurt you? Because you in the comments being real sad right now that y'all lost 2 games in a row to the Padres, bro. Stop it. Cut it out, okay? Cut it out.
Yeah, if you're watching on SportsGrid or listening on Sirius XM channel 159, first of all, welcome. And if you want to follow along on our YouTube page, go to youtube.com/Kaplan and Crew. You can be part of our YouTube chat. And by the way, I don't think we've said this on the show yet. Our YouTube chat has a name. The Chatlins are in the chat.
Shout out to the Chatlins.
Shout out to the Chatlins. You guys are here every single day with us.
Love
I know
y'all.
we do love y'all, and we do love the comments. Bring it coming, or keep it coming, and bring the heat, G Mellows. We feel you. We feel you. I think he's a Padre fan, though. I don't think he's a Dodger.
Listen, whatever he is, I love it. I love it. Yeah. I love the interaction. This has been one of the better parts of the show. Moving into a new form is that we get to kind of live action.
I love being live again. And for those that don't know, back in the day, before we started on SportsGrid, we would have to record the show and then replay it on YouTube and 1090 and all the other platforms that we're on at 3 p.m. Pacific time. So we would do a premiere, and the Chatlins would have their own show, but obviously the show is done, so we couldn't talk to them. But now being back live, it's the way it should be, obviously. And so now we're live, and now we love to get the comments, the feedback, the interaction with you guys. YouTube.com/Kaplan and Crew. Follow us at Kaplan and Crew on X.
Join it.
Instagram, TikTok. I don't know. TikTok's got a thing against me right now. I don't know what's going on with TikTok.
Against everybody, apparently.
Five plays per video. Come on now, man. That's not okay. But anyways, Grande and the Brown Men with you guys here on Thursday. We'll update you guys. We're going to talk to Jeff Spiegel from Dodger Blue to recap the Padres Dodgers series. Jason Lawhead's going to jump on the show, and possibly Scott will jump on the road on his way to Mammoth as he heads up to Blues-a-Palooza. This is Kaplan and Crew, brought to you by 7 Mile Casino, 7milecasino.com.
That race for the Cy Young, pretty much as equally compelling and intriguing as the race for the wild card spots in the National League.
And also keep in mind, team doesn't pitch the entire season. So his ERA gets affected much, much more if he has a poor outing than, let's just say, Chris Sale or Zach Wheeler that's been there all season long. This would be a fun one to watch it play out. But the big loser last night were the Phillies and Zach Wheeler.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Where are you at in terms of a starting lineup? What you want to see from Team USA?
I think he'll get guys involved, and then there's your lockdown defender at the point guard, the point of attack, right? I do like Curry. I would then go with Ant. I like Ant over Booker. I think if you look at the way the Canada game was, they looked kind of slow starting, and then they kind of got rolling.
Game time decisions, only on SportsGrid.
The silver and the bronze. I give you Canada, France, Germany, Serbia, and Australia.
Germany, more so than Canada. I think that their talent, it's a little more tiered. You know what Dennis Schroeder's capable of. Franz Wagner, another player. Daniel Tice steps up, and Mo Wagner as well. They're built to really take advantage of the mistakes that Team USA makes, and they can make the effort plays.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
However many units are on the line, however many people, however many cocktails, like it's a perfect scorecard. And someone questioned him on one hole. He's like, well, one thing I never get wrong is the scorecard. And then we're on like 13 and he's added up and he's like, this is wrong.
I looked back from number 13 and I'm like, I'm missing $140 somewhere. I don't know where I'm missing it. And I'm looking back and I'm like, no, it doesn't match up on 11. And I got to track it back to like number 7.
Only on SportsGrid.
Buddy, welcome back to Kaplan and crew. Excuse my eyeballs going a million different directions. I'm also directing this thing and hosting this thing. Grande and the Brown Man with you guys here on a Thursday. Scott will be back on Monday. So myself and Browner, the crew, with you guys here on Thursday and Friday.
Crew love.
Shout out to everybody here watching.
That
and
needs to be the next
live.
shirt. That need to be the next shirt. Shout out to all the people watching from coast to coast on SportsGrid, and shout out to all the people listening on XM 159, I think it is. We need a new shirt. We need a Crew Love shirt called Crew Love when we do the show. And
You know what we need?
skiing, yachting, or whatever it is he be doing.
You know what we need? We need a graphic designer. That'd be nice. First of all,
we do. Yo, Chatlins,
because Grande is not a graphic designer, but forced to be. So, Fat Tony, can we hire Fat Tony already? Shout out to Fat Tony.
I think we already have. We just pay him in thank yous.
Thank yous. Yeah. If you work for Kaplan and crew, you can get paid in a lot of thank yous. We pay crazy amount of thank yous. 6-figure, sometimes 7-figure amount of thank yous.
We pay more. We pay far above the living wage in thank yous if you work for us. Straight up.
All right, Browner. Listen, when we come back, we're not going to break yet, but the next segment we will be talking to Jeff Spiegel from DodgerBlue.com. We'll recap the Padres and Dodgers series. I was at Manchester United versus Real Betis last night at Snapdragon Stadium. We'll talk about that. Yesterday, what were you watching? Were you tuning in? You're all in on Padres Dodgers last night?
I was watching the Olympics. I was watching some Padres Dodgers, and I was being a father. So it's just a lot of mix. One of the good things that have come out of the Olympics is obviously you guys know I have 4 kids, and so trying to get 4 kids to like one thing at a time outside of a cartoon is almost impossible. They like the Olympics. They like when it's on 4 screens, and on one screen it's swimming, on one screen it's volleyball, on one screen it's table tennis, and then on one screen it's people fighting with swords. Like, they love it. They love it. They're all in.
I mean, dude, it's perfect for ADD. Like, I got it, and I'm 4 boxing every night, man. I'm 4 boxing. It's very rare that one event gets my full attention. I'm 4 boxing on the Gold Zone, whatever it's called on YouTube TV. I'm 4 boxing the Olympics all morning. This morning I was watching it. I believe women's gymnastics is on now, right? I think it's the all-around women's gymnastics at the moment.
I'm watching the news. I got the news on right now.
Yeah, I just tuned in. It's the all-around women's gymnastics final. So if you're watching live with us, we will be providing spoilers, FYI, if anything happens.
That's what we do.
That's what we do. Sorry. I got a lot of messages, complaining about us giving away Olympic results. And I just want to tell you guys, spoiler alert again, we're going to do it. We're not going to stop because it's live, and that's the way it should be. So if anything happens with Simone Biles or Suni Lee or Jordan Childs, you're going to hear about it here because that's just what's going on. So, yeah, Browner, I was at the Manchester United game last night. And listen, the results don't matter, but let me tell you what a great night. What a great night, man. Like, you want to talk about what we pay for here in San Diego? last night was it. That weather was perfect. The tailgating was on point. And when I tell you last year how many people were genuinely pissed off of what Manchester United did, they charged full retail prices, advertising. Manchester United versus Wrexham. Who's Wrexham? The team owned by Rob McElhenney and Ryan
I
Reynolds.
don't even know who they are.
Right. So that team, it was like, oh man, Deadpool might be here. Always Sunny Philadelphia is going to be in attendance. And so, dude, honestly, dude, I think it was like $250 for like one ticket. And I was so excited to see my team, Man U, come to my city. And last year, they throw out an academy team. Now, what is that? Kids, 18, 19, 20 years old. We're like,
It is
what?
what it sounds like, an academy team. It's what it sounds like.
Yeah. And everybody was like, what the F? And when you're watching Wrexham, no one really knows the player on their team, right? They're like third division right now. They don't have superstars on their team. If you watched the Wrexham show on Hulu, you might recognize like Paul Mullins. Guess what happened to Paul Mullins? He got hurt like in the first 2 minutes. Remember that? He got sent to the hospital because the goalie came out and like smashed his head last year. So I was not surprised, but I was filled like it was empty last night. How about that? Like it was genuinely half full at the 35,000 capacity. Last year, packed. 35,000 packed. Last night, I think people were pissed. I think people were like, well, where are they going to play? Are they going to bring out the academy team again? And dude, Man U trotted out a legit starting 11. Real Betis trotted out a legit starting 11. We saw the guys we wanted to see. But I think people were just like hesitant. Like, I don't want to go there.
Fool me once. Shame on you. Fool me twice.
Okay.
Shame on me, America. One falling for that again. And as the great George Bush once said, fool me 3 times. We ain't gonna get fooled again.
We ain't gonna get fooled again. Well, last night, here's where I was sitting last night. This is it was incredible. Dude. Look at the seats, man. Paid for these seats. Had a good time in these seats. I told Scott, hey, you want to be man of the people, or are you gonna hang out up in your suite? And he was up in the suite in the corner. He had like, you're in a good seat, Browner, when there's like a glass partition in front of you.
Yeah.
When there's a glass partition in front, and that's what Scott had in front of him.
That's how you get super drunk in there.
I was row 7 with the people. I was high-fiving after that goal. Yeah, dude, just And people kept sending me photos because wherever we were sitting, we kept coming out on TV. And then my friends and my wife like, dude, we're on TV. We're on TV. And I was like, I'm on TV every day. You know what I mean? No big deal.
You guys new here, huh?
Yeah, you guys are new here.
Get used to it.
Yeah.
You're new here.
Nah, it was great, man. If you were there last night, it was perfect. A little tailgating, got after it a little bit. It was a good time. It was a really good time.
Nice,
but
man.
It was awesome though, because I was with some Dodger fans as well. And it was awesome just to like hit refresh. And it's like, ooh, 4-0.
Watch it.
Ooh,
watch it.
Ooh. Yeah, it was great. It was a really great time. What'd you think last night though about the Padres? Like, obviously they get the win. Obviously, Clayton Kershaw is not the guy who, the Cy Young winner as of right now. But dude, they just have been showing out offensively. When Waldron didn't have a great start yet 2 days ago, but this offense has just been clicking, man.
I think and the 3 errors didn't help them either. I really feel like what we're watching is a balanced team. This seems balanced, and in the way that they're competing, this is what was absent. This is what people were looking at last year and going, something's not right about this team.
Yeah.
Look at this team, and then look at that team, the competitive nature in which they go out every single day. It's evident now. You can see the fight and competition on this team every time they take the field, and I think that's what's the difference is.
It's also like the name Bob Melvin hasn't been uttered here recently, but so much of the blame of what happened last year could easily be placed on him now because you're seeing a team that gets along. You're seeing a clubhouse with no drama. We'll talk about it more when we come back. This is Kaplan and crew.
recently, I feel like I'm not doing anything wrong. I'm not making bad swings. I don't feel like I'm making terrible decisions, and just had got a little bit of a streak of bad luck on par fives. Didn't birdie any of them at the Open, didn't birdie any of them today. It's just, and I didn't feel like I did anything terribly wrong, right? But that's just golf. It happens. What's done is done, and this week is the most important week of the year right now.
If he lands it pin high, he's going to be off over the pin position and leave himself a tough putt there. That should bite now. He didn't like it by the looks of it, but he'll love it when he sees it.
Just got this before that bunker. Put himself in a good position.
Just a tiny little baby fade, ideally placed.
To tie the lead at 16.
Playing well, isn't he, John Rahm?
And OMG, what a championship Sunday we just witnessed.
Win, right? Selfishly, you always want to get that done, but you don't want to see a teammate and a good friend, missing a putt for that happening for me.
The Live Golf League delivers every single event, doesn't it? I mean, what an incredible finish there. You know what, Tyrrell Hatton, I feel for him. He's been playing beautiful golf. In fact, since Miami, he's been the best player in our league based on the strokes gained metric.
I'm really happy that I had my first Live Golf win. Now that Kelly and the kids are watching, just knowing that I'm bringing a trophy home for them, it feels good to say that it's coming home.
Welcome back to Kaplan and Crew. This is Scott. I mean, this is not Scott. Without Scott, this is Alex Padilla and John Browner with you guys, just the crew. Browner, I wish in my life, I just want to do one backflip. I just want to do one.
Nah.
I'm watching as these girls are warming up to go on the balance beam right now. Suni Lee just warming up a casual backflip off the back beam. I'm like, I just want to do one. I just want to do one in my life. It was like that. It's like that Office episode of Creed. He's just like, I just want to do one majestic cartwheel. In my life, I'll go to a bounce house. I can't do it. I go sideways. I go to like those, what are those trampoline parks, whatever they're called.
I was just about to say, have you ever been to a trampoline park?
I tried and I almost broke my neck, drew it into a foam pit. I was like stuck upside down and I was like, get me out of here. The claustrophobia kicked in. Dude, it was brutal.
Yo, man, I was just about to say, we can take you to a trampoline park, dog. I'm pretty sure you could pull one off.
Dude, can you imagine just one backflip? Just one. That's all. That's all. Before I die, I want to do one backflip. Anyways,
I tell people all the time, I don't need to experience everything. I'm all right. I don't need no backflips in my life. I don't need no cartwheels, no front flips, no hands. I don't need none of that in my life. No, I'm good. Too tall.
All right. Well, if you're watching live on YouTube with us, you can chime in at youtube.com/Kaplan and Crew. Quick shout outs to our regulars, basically. Miss Molly is in the chat right now. Shout out to Miss Molly.
Shout out.
Cheyenne Peterson saying great friends. The Rigby family, one of the best. I think the first family of San Diego, the Rigby family.
I think they're celebrating a birthday of some sort or an anniversary or something. Shout
Every
out to
day.
Rigby family's anniversary of whatever y'all anniversary in.
Inside joke, Browner. Inside joke. You don't get it.
I don't.
You don't get it. Happy birthday, Joe. Maria saying great friends. Alan Vigil checking in. Tony Reyes saying bets out, Tatis out. What's the problem? We better right now. Let's go Padres. We're going to talk to Jeff Spiegel of Dodger Blue in the next segment. I see him here in the waiting room, Jeff. We'll get to you here after the commercial break. We will talk about who is better right now. I mean, it's pretty obvious. Dodgers are going through some things. Padres will win the division. Dodgers have a tougher schedule in August and September.
Cut this out. No, don't. No. Raymond, go somewhere with that, man. We don't want that. Raymond, I'm going to say this on the show one more time. I don't want to have to keep saying this to y'all, Raymond. Leave that division winning. Leave that alone. Let that go, man. Just keep playing consistent baseball. Stop talking about winning the division, because if they don't, when the Dodgers get all these players back and then they start spitting fire again like a dragon, I don't want to hear nobody talk about how the Padres are underachieving, because when they were barely at 500, y'all was like, oh, well, stop it. Don't do that, Raymond.
Let me ask you a question.
Come for you, Raymond.
Let me ask you a question, Browner. Are you looking backwards more than forwards? And what I mean by that is, are you looking at the Diamondbacks or are you looking at the Dodgers? Or do you not care? Or are you just looking at the Padres and you're like, I just got to handle my business. I got to handle my business.
As the person with the baton is saying these days, man, we ain't going back. We ain't going back. I ain't looking back, but I'm not focused on what's in front. This is a 500 team.
Maybe they're
that's
not
playing. Oh, here we
hey,
go.
you said they were going to go. You said they were going to go 52-28 in the last whatever games.
Y'all all laughed at me. Y'all laughed right in my
face.
They
were 40. Remember, if you guys, obviously the SportsGrid audience is not familiar. When the Padres were 41-41, we all did a prediction. How are they going to finish the final whatever games, whatever the math is on that of the season?
Mm-hmm.
And Browner said they're going to go on a Yankees run. They're going to finish 52-28. And right now, I said they're going to go whatever, 500.
Losing record. You said
no,
losing record.
I said 500. Scott said losing.
Oh.
I said 500.
Joe Rigby.
I said 500. I don't need Joe Rigby. I know I said they're going to go 500.
All I'm saying is y'all laughed at me when I said that. But I'm saying this in perspective, man. Focus. When they were losing, I think they lost 5 of 7 or something like that at some point before the All-Star break, going into the All-Star break. Mm-hmm. And everybody was doom and gloom. I told y'all, chill. This is a 500 team against good teams. They play great. What have they played in this stretch run? Really good teams.
Mm-hmm.
Cleveland, good team. Baltimore, good team. They got
great
something
team
against the Nats. I don't know what it is.
We don't like the Nats around here. That's what.
And we whooped them.
Yeah.
And then you played the Dodgers in first place, a good team, a rival, and you whooped them. Now wait till they play the Diamondbacks, chasing them. Let's see how they do. Yeah. Let the Rockies come up in there. Let the Rockies come up here and think what y'all gonna say.
Guess who's coming to town? The lowly Rockies. Here come the Rockies. Here comes Bud Black. And we all know the Padres struggles against Colorado for some freaking reason. We don't know why, but it's just not that great. So, all right, let's get into it. Let's talk about the series even more. We'll deep dive what's going on with the Dodgers. Listen, Browner may not care about what they're doing, but I think Padre fans are now really starting to reel in what they're doing because 4.5 games, that's a race, Browner. That's the smallest gap in the National League right now. So, we'll get to it. We'll get to it next. Spiegel from Dodger Blue is going to join us. We'll break down exactly what's going on with the Dodgers and what he thinks. Is this a race?
What has happened? What has transpired here at the First Bank Center here in Denver, Colorado? It wasn't just a big night of fights. It was a big night of memorable moments. Conor McGregor with us here in Denver, Colorado. Little left hand from Rockwell. Right hand, right back from Mike Perry.
Can I get a face-off with Conor McGregor, man?
It's an incredible setup here, incredible matchmaking, incredible storytelling. Oh, you had to come here. All these fighters that step in here are warriors, and all have my respect. And I'm into this game, yeah. We'll be into this, yeah.
And we are live here in the Maverick Center here in Salt Lake City. What a night. It is going to be historic indeed for BKFC 56.
Whoever's the king of violence right here, this is going to be a great fight.
Combat fighting in its purest form, bare knuckle fighting in the city of angels.
We've got the biggest announcement in the BKFC history we're about to make, so let's make that announcement.
What's up, Knucklemania? The notorious Conor McGregor here. Ladies and gentlemen, the huge announcement that I have for you today. Conor McGregor, myself, and McGregor Sports and Entertainment is now an owner of Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship. Welcome to the big leagues. David Feldman, baby, we did it.
He's now an owner of BKFC with us, and we're going to take this motherfucking thing all the way to the top now.
Welcome Welcome back to Kaplan and Crew with just the crew,
Man.
Alex Padilla and John Browner. What now? Already?
Were
I
we
didn't even say
giving out,
anything.
bro? Were we giving out Tory Holistics during the break, bro? Were we puffing passing in the Chatlin section, bro? What
do you
are
mean?
these comments? I said, Bernard, the next 15 games we need to go 12-3, bro. What are we? Listen to me, please. We about to get ourselves in a situation where we're gonna be sad. Stop this, okay?
You have such a loser mentality, dude. You really do.
How dare
you?
you, sir?
Really do.
How
you do.
dare you?
You do.
How dare
As
you?
someone, you're the biggest Padres hunk on this show. Me and
Yes.
Scott are always labeled as haters. Me and Scott are always the guys that are negative. And you're over here saying, don't worry about first. Go for second. Go for second. All right.
Nice.
Before you even say even more, let's bring in our guest, Jeff Spiegel, Dodger Blue, DodgerBlue.com. Jeff, you heard that conversation. First of all, thanks for the time. Are we nuts even thinking about the division?
I wish I could say you were, but I looking at the schedules, the Dodgers have a brutal next 6 weeks. They're still not healthy. And the Padres actually have a pretty easy run in over the last couple of months. So, a few days ago, I would have said maybe you're crazy, but 4.5 games is a small number.
See, Browner? This thing was like what, like 9 for like the whole season, 8 games all year, and now it's down to 4.5. And listen, to be totally honest with you, I don't think they're going to win the division, but I will say, like, it is a possibility now. Whereas, like you said a month ago, I'm not saying it's a possibility, no chance.
I say this has been my take on it the entire time. Get within 3 games, and then let's sit down and have a conversation about it. Get within 3 games, okay? Because before you was 9.
So here's the schedule.
You need a
the Padres.
to see them.
Here's the next 3 series. How about that? The Padres versus the Rockies, and at Pittsburgh. And Pittsburgh kind of up and down, but they are 55 and 53 so far, so they're a good team. And then at Miami, who just sold everybody. So
And
that's
then
the
Pittsburgh
Padres
again, and then
And then
Colorado.
Pittsburgh,
Those
and
are
then
the
Colorado.
2 after.
Right. And the Dodgers versus the A's in Oakland, then Philly, then Pittsburgh, at Milwaukee, at St. Louis.
And the Dodgers aren't getting healthy for another 2.5 weeks. So that's
Can we start there? Can we start there? What is going on with the Dodgers? What's going on with Mookie Betts? What's going on with Freddie Freeman? What's going on with Max Muncy? What's going on with Yamamoto? Run through the list. Start wherever you want, man. Like, what's going on over there?
So Freddie's the big question mark. Obviously, there's a major health issue with one of his kids, and so he's on the family list. I believe you can stay on that for 7 days. He's in the midst of that. The Dodgers have basically said he can take as long as he needs. We're not even asking questions right now. So nobody really has info on Freddie Freeman. If he goes past the 7 days, there's been speculation like maybe they put him on the restricted list, and there's all sorts of stuff. But Freeman's a wild card. In some senses, I would say he's probably the quickest back of all these guys, but it's just a total unknown. Mookie Betts starting to take some swings. That we got a positive injury update on him yesterday. The other good news, probably doesn't need a rehab assignment, so he'll probably just do some simulated games and then be back. So I think Mookie Betts, that Cardinals series, August 16th, maybe a couple days before, feels like a landing spot. Tommy Edman, the new guy they just acquired, set to go back out on a rehab assignment. He's maybe the same time, 2 weeks. Max Muncy.
Has that ever happened in baseball before? Where they
Trade him.
trade for a guy that hasn't played all season? Like, that's wild.
It's crazy. It's crazy. And I mean, Dodger fans have been wounded before by positive injury updates that turned out to be not positive. And so there's definitely some fear, whether do you trust the front office to have done their due diligence on a guy like this? We talked to the Cardinals beat reporter, and she seemed to think that he's on track for the next week or two to be back. Yamamoto's thrown a bullpen today, so that's a good step for him, for a guy that most Dodger fans I think were skeptical if we even see him again this year. And then Muncy, the oblique, starting to take swings. Breakthrough, I think was the language they used yesterday. So I mean, it's possible that by the time we get to mid-late August, outside of Yamamoto, every guy we just mentioned is back. It's possible. Right. I don't think any Dodger fan would say likely. But we're kind of like Browner in that sense. We try not to get our hopes up. If you get your hopes up, then you just get hurt.
Yeah. So what I'm seeing from this, I thought the first game that they had against the Padres, that's just a Padres victory. Guys got to the ball, got it over the fence in the 9th inning. That happens. It's a 162 game season. You're gonna have some of those. I don't care how good you are.
Yeah.
Yesterday, I think that is the more glaring one to me. That's the one where you got the 3 errors. You Clayton Kershaw looks ineffective, and I'm being polite. And this is a leader. This is a guy who people look to. This is who people galvanize behind. And so when he just, even though it's his second start, he still doesn't seem to have the it that we expect to see from Clayton Kershaw. So where does this team go for that now galvanizing person? Because it appears to be he's at the end of his rope as far as the legacy, the career that he's had.
Yeah.
Who's the guy that now leads this team? Is it from a player perspective, or are people listening to Dave Roberts?
Dave's a controversial guy. We'll put it that way. I mean, he's interesting because he literally has the best winning percentage of any manager in Major League history. It's Dave Roberts.
But they hate him.
They hate him. They can't. A lot of people can't stand him because he gets blamed for everything. Like 2 nights ago is a perfect example. Blake Trinan comes in, gives up 2 home runs in the 9th, and they lose, and everyone's mad at Dave Roberts. And I've been quick to criticize Dave Roberts at times if he makes a bad decision when it comes to going to the bullpen too early or too late or who he brings in or whatever. I'm up for criticizing managers.
Me too.
Blake Trinan gave up 2 home runs. Dave Roberts didn't give up 2 home runs. So, that's kind of where I land. And look, the Dodgers bullpen's a whole nother story. But to the Kershaw question, I mean, Kershaw's our guy. He's my guy. He's the GOAT from my lifetime.
He should be, by the way.
As a Dodger. Right. So seeing him struggle is like, there's an emotional level. I've joked that watching Kershaw win the 2020 World Series was like the most impactful sports moment of my life. Cause I just, the struggles that he had gone through and obviously terrible postseason performances, him getting it. Like I was happier for him than I was for like the Dodgers and Dodger fans. It was Kershaw that I cared about. So realistically this year, there were lots of people skeptical of what you were going to get from Kershaw. So I will say, I don't think people are, apoplectic over what they saw, because I think there's a large portion of the Dodger fan base that said major shoulder surgery, first arm surgery of his career, by the way, tons of innings, velocity's been diminished. I just don't think there's a ton of people that were like banking World Series hopes on Clayton Kershaw being a part of the equation. So I do think there's some people that there's an element of optimism that comes from just not feeling like he's the centerpiece.
Right.
I think this team's going to be built on offense.
Jeff Spiegel from DodgerBlue.com joining us at Jeff Spiegel on X/Twitter, whatever you guys want to call it. Something that it's not being talked about yet because it hasn't reared its ugly head in San Diego. Innings with the starting pitchers.
Yeah.
Michael King has never pitched this many innings. Matt Waldron has never pitched this many innings. And you guys, Tyler Glasnow has never pitched this many innings. How big of a concern, and I'll ask you, I don't know how closely you're paying attention to the Padres too. When you're looking at the future, I mean, over here, you guys, we're kind of in the same boat, right? Like, you don't know if you're getting Walker Buehler back.
Yeah.
We don't know if we're getting Yu Darvish and Joe Musgrove back. How concerning is the starting pitching, or do you think the Dodgers did enough getting Jack Flaherty?
We were doing a live show, and they got Jack Flaherty with 2 minutes left in the trade deadline.
Yeah, dude.
So I promise I will not slander anything.
I was in the car wash. I was going through the car wash. I was ready to send off text to my Dodger buddies like, y'all didn't do nothing? Y'all didn't do, and then they get Flaherty. Yeah. Of course.
So there will be no slander on the Dodgers not doing enough, because they went and got the guy, and they got him for a good deal, in my opinion. But so I like Flaherty. Glasnow, I was worried initially about the injury stuff, and then talking to some people who understand kind of the surgeries he had, they said there really isn't much of an injury concern with Glasnow. I mean, any pitcher there is, but it's not like his history is going to be predictive of his future. So Glasnow, I think, is fine. Flaherty, there's the injury thing with his back. I think that's more Tigers and Yankees propaganda coming from Ken Rosenthal than I do reality.
We don't believe Ken Rosenthal on this show.
What's that?
We don't believe Ken Rosenthal on this show.
Okay, well,
Max Scherzer was a Padre, so we don't believe.
There you go.
Ken Rosenthal.
I like it. So, I mean, I think the thing the Dodgers have to worry about is Yamamoto going to come back? They signed him to a 10-year deal. Are they really going to rush him back from a shoulder injury and try and shove him into the rotation? They might need him, but are they going to do it? We'll see. Again, bullpen, I think today is first time he's thrown a bullpen since the injury. And then it's a bunch of young guys like you, Gavin Stone, rookie, lots of innings, struggled the last few. River Ryan made his debut.
Can I actually cut you off for one? Do you have a couple more minutes?
I do.
Okay, we got to go to break, and I hate to cut you off, but I don't. I want to get into it more when we come right back. Quick 2-minute break, Jeff. Thank you so much for sticking around. Jeff Spiegel from DodgerBlue.com, at Jeff Spiegel on Twitter. We will dive more into what's going on in the NL West when we come back. This is Kaplan and Crew with Just the Crew. Grande and Browner back next.
hopefully they learned their lesson. Hey, this ain't the NBA, bro. You don't have 6 fouls, and they will check you on this stuff. And Brooks has a reputation coming into this. You can tell the refs are watching him, and they were on him all the time.
This was 10, 12 years ago. Canada playing Greece with that type of lead if they had. They probably would have mentally crumbled and lost that game to Greece by like 3 or 4 points in the final minute of that ball game.
Sports Rage Late Night, only on SportsGrid.
Try and set the stage for what should be a great year of NFL action.
There's a handful of teams that potentially can compete for a Super Bowl championship.
Confusion and uncertainty this year more than some in the past.
This team looks like it's ready to make a move, but we just don't know if it's bad or good this year.
J.J. McCarthy is eventually going to take over, but it's like it's a no-lose situation for them.
I mean, they suck. They were 7-10.
Only on SportsGrid.
That race for the Cy Young, pretty much as equally compelling and intriguing as the race for the wild card spots in the National League.
And also keep in mind, this team doesn't pitch the entire season, so his ERA gets affected much, much more if he has a poor outing than, let's just say, Chris Sale or Zach Wheeler that's been there all season long. This would be a fun one to watch it play out, but the big loser last night were the Phillies and Zach Wheeler.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Their coach has a personality that is New York City. Tough, grinding, defensive, no holds barred. We muck this game up and we make you play it our way. And Tibbs has been rewarded, and he should be rewarded for what he's done with the Knicks.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid.
Kaplan and crew today with just the crew. Grande, myself, Alex Padilla, and John Browner with you guys here on Thursday. Scott back on Monday. He's up in Mammoth going to Palooza, listening on his way up. Before we went to break, we're talking to Jeff Spiegel from DodgerBlue.com. Jeff, thanks for sticking around during that commercial break. You were talking about the status of the injured Dodgers rotation. Pick it up where you left off. You were talking about Yamamoto throwing a bullpen session and where he's at.
Yeah. So he's thrown a bullpen. I think there's skepticism about how quickly they might rush him back, but August 1st, throwing a bullpen session, there's plenty of time. If the Dodgers, massive if with any team, but if the Dodgers could get to the postseason with Glasnow, Flaherty, Yamamoto as their 1, 2, and 3, and then Gavin Stone, River Ryan, I mean.
Wow, didn't even say Kershaw, Brown. Didn't even say Kershaw.
Kershaw
after yesterday, you better not.
Yeah, exactly. So I think they've got 3 guys that you'd feel pretty good about, and then 3 guys that you just sort of hope you can strike with the iron hot while the iron's hot, and maybe get a guy that's in a little bit of a heater. I mean, River Ryan's one of the top prospects in baseball. Look good in 2 starts, but it's 2 starts. So I think there's optimism, but it's cautious because if not Yamamoto, then all of a sudden we're picking 2 out of the grab bag that I mentioned at the end.
I have flashbacks of 2022 and relying on a 3-man rotation in the playoffs, because when we had to throw Mike Clevenger and Sean Manaea out against the Phillies, it was brutal, bro. It was brutal. So I understand that the thought process behind the wanting 3 guys, but I think nowadays you kind of need that 4th. You kind of need another guy, especially if you're not sweeping teams, if you're going to 5-7 game series. Having that 4th guy is so critical, which is why I genuinely think the Padres, I think the Dodgers are too. I think they're banking on Yamamoto coming back. I think the Padres are also banking, like, they're going to get Musgrove back. Like, he threw a bullpen the other day. He's thrown on Sunday, I believe, in minor leagues. So I genuinely think that both these teams, if healthy, they have legitimate, formidable starting rotations to make some noise in the playoffs.
Yeah, and I think, and I'd have to go back and find it, but I believe when they announced kind of what the format of the NLDS was going to be this year, it felt like you almost are going to have 4 starters. Like, I don't think you're even going to be able to try and squeeze through a 3-man rotation because of how quickly they're condensing the entirety of that series. So something to keep an eye on. I do think there's going to be an added emphasis on that number 4 guy.
Gotcha. Do you feel like what the injuries have zapped the energy from the team? Because it feels like they're still competing, with the exception of yesterday. Yeah. They're just coming up short because they're missing guys. So is it, do you think the losses will start to wear guys down, even though they are still in first place?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, it's funny to look and see that the Dodgers have been 5-5 in their last 10. Like they're still, as people pointed out, they're still 2 wins behind the Phillies for the best record in the National League.
Right.
And yet, when you lose 2 to the Padres and so many guys are out, I think it just feels different. I don't think vibes are good in the Dodgers clubhouse. I think there's this balance between knowing that the goal is winning a World Series. Like nobody's going to celebrate them if they win the division. Nobody will. If they don't make it to the World Series, like literally this season will be deemed a failure. Dave Roberts will be called for, and there's going to be crazy people in the streets. So I do think on one hand, you can get discouraged by the recent results, but I also think there's a general sense of like, we're biding our time until guys get back and until these games start to matter.
You brought up Dave Roberts. I got to ask you about it, man. I know he recently said that he would like to sign an extension sooner rather than later.
Yeah.
But do you think that's like a foregone conclusion that he's going to sign an extension sooner rather than later? I mean, I've been saying it on this show, and Dave's a friend of Scott's. Dave's been on the show numerous times. Like he lives in Cardiff up the street, but I genuinely think if he has another disaster in the postseason, how can you bring him back? Like at a certain point, you got to make a change, right?
It's funny because, and I'd love to get honestly your guys' perspective on this, because the thing about Dave Roberts is, if you look at what the Dodgers have done in the regular season over the course of 162 games for his entire tenure, it's insane. Like I think there was a stat last night. Last night was the first losing month the Dodgers have had since March and April of 2018. Like, just think about that. That's 6.5 years ago was the last time they didn't go at least 500 in a month. So I think there's something to that. And, not to pile on, but I used to point to like Jace Tingler and the Padres and say, look, here's a team with all this talent that didn't win crap. And the thing about Dave Roberts that I've always pointed to is they've always performed. They've always won the division. They've always won 100 games. Like they've always, and then you get into the playoffs, which I personally believe are a total crapshoot. And so I personally find it hard to blame Dave Roberts for a whole lot. On the whole, I think on the whole, no manager is perfect and he's about as good as you could possibly get. At the same time, it's been a long time. If they don't win, I'm not going to be surprised if they made a change, and especially if he's at the center of it.
Here's why I find the conversation
2 minutes, Browner.
Dave Roberts to be utterly laughable about dismissing him. We just saw this here in San Diego.
Yeah,
you have to be able to manage high-priced guys.
Yeah,
you have to be able to manage in a city like Los Angeles. You have to be able to manage under the pressure cooker that is being the Dodgers manager. When the team is spending all this money, you have to be able to manage all these players. Okay, we just shipped out a manager who couldn't manage 2 of them. The Dodgers have 6 or 7 of them. So who do you think you're going to go get that can keep this thing at ease like Dave Roberts has? That's the thing that I want people to know. You're not going to bring... We've gone through a lot of managers here. You can hop on that cycle too if you just kick Dave Roberts out because he's not winning the World Series every year.
Yeah, totally agree. And not to mention they want a guy who's going to, sort of carry out the plans of the front office and be analytically driven and do all that kind of thing. So finding that balance, I think it's people just assume the grass is greener. I think they're going to find out it's not.
Well, as a radio host sitting in my comfy studio in San Diego, I'm down to fire people. I'm super down. I'm down to make changes. I mean, I was ready to can Bob Melvin at the All-Star break last year. So I got no problem making changes. And listen, Browner, they keep winning 100 games. Look at the roster. I can manage them to 100 wins. No, I can't.
All right, get in there. Get in there and do it.
Yeah. Okay, real quick. We got about a minute here, Jeff, before we let you. Jeff Spiegel, DodgerBlue.com, at Jeff Spiegel on X. Is there any rumblings about how the players feel about Dave Roberts?
By all accounts, they like him. There's never been, I've never heard negative things about Dave Roberts. They all love him. He's a player's manager. He understands it. He has their respect. And so that's the other piece. I just don't think you're going to get like a player uprising or anonymous sources coming out of the Dodgers clubhouse.
Gotcha. Because it's always like fans are one thing. Fans are crazy. Fans say whatever they want. But if it's actual, that's what happened last year. And that's why Bob Melvin was gone. Because there was stuff happening in the locker room with Bob Melvin. Jeff Spiegel, awesome. First of all, great appearance for your first time ever on Kaplan with Jeff Spiegel at Jeff Spiegel on X. Thank you for your time. We appreciate it. And maybe when the Dodgers and Padres play again, we'll have you back on. Thanks, man.
Would love it. Thanks for having me, guys.
All right, Kaplan and crew with just the crew, Grande and Browner with you guys. We'll be right back. Scott wants to check in. He just texted me, so we'll get to we'll talk to him next at Kaplan and crew, kaplanandcrew.com.
Recently, I feel like I'm not doing anything wrong. I'm not making bad swings. I don't feel like I'm making terrible decisions, and just had got a little bit of a streak of bad luck on par fives. Didn't birdie any of them at the Open, didn't birdie any of them today. It's just, and I didn't feel like I did anything terribly wrong, right? But that's just golf. It happens. What's done is done, and this week is the most important week of the year right now.
If he lands it pin high, he's going to be off over the pin position and leave himself a tough putt there. That should bite now. He didn't like it by the looks of it, but he'll love it when he sees it.
Just get this before that bunker. Put himself in a good position.
Just a tiny little baby fade, ideally placed.
To tie the lead at 16. Oh, he's playing well, isn't he, John Rahm?
And OMG, what a championship Sunday we just witnessed.
Win, right? Selfishly, you always want to get that done, but you don't want to see a teammate and a good friend, missing a putt for that happening for me.
The Live Golf League delivers every single event, doesn't it? I mean, what an incredible finish there. You know what, Tyrrell Hatton, I feel for him. He's been playing beautiful golf. In fact, since Miami, he's been the best player in our league based on the strokes gained metric.
I'm really happy that I had my first Live Golf win. Now that Kelly and the kids are watching, just knowing that I'm bringing the trophy home for them, it feels good to say that it's coming home.
Welcome back, everybody, to Kaplan and crew. Alex Padilla, myself, Grande, and Browner with you guys here on a Thursday. Scott's supposed to be checking in here shortly. He wants to jump in. He's on his way up to Mammoth for Palooza. So cruising up the 5 or whatever freeway you take to get up there, listening to us on Sirius channel 159, or watching on SportsGrid across the country. Browner, what's going on, man? What are you munching on, dude?
I gotta tell y'all, man, I'm playing hurt today.
Okay.
I wasn't gonna talk about it, man. I was TBD. I was day to day. You know, I was a game time decision, but I had to be here to make sure that I didn't let the team down. I ate some McDonald's last night at like midnight.
Oh no, at midnight,
bro. Listen, don't ask me why I was out at the time of the night because
Don't you have 4 kids?
And that's when they sleep, so that's when I roam. I found myself at a McDonald's at midnight, and I ordered something that I normally don't get because I don't normally get a 2 cheeseburger meal. I'll make this quick. I normally get a 2 cheeseburger meal, but this particular time I got the quarter pounder meal.
By the way, the only thing I order at McDonald's on breakfast is the 2 cheeseburger meal.
And so I strayed because the 2 cheeseburger meal just didn't sound appealing at the second, and I regret it because I've had to throw up. I had the number 2,
which is a quarter pounder,
2A quarter pounder with cheese, and I got to tell you, man, I've had to throw up. It's getting to be 11. I've had to throw up for about 10 hours.
Did you see the triathletes puke after they had to swim in that Seine River?
What? Who said this was a good idea? Who?
That was going to be my highlight of the day. But dude, what is going on over there, man? What are we doing?
Just say no, okay? Just say, hey, man, listen, we trained for this. We just going to take the water part out of this. Because, y'all, look at this. It's green, dog. The Tijuana River looks nice compared to this. Like, it's green.
Well, I don't know about that.
They cleaned it out and it's still green, okay? If you clean something, if you clean the water, you put a brand new $1 billion filtration system in there, and it's still green, don't swim in that, man.
I'm about to show you guys a very graphic photo. So if you don't like graphic photos, close your eyes for a second. This is what they were doing, getting out of that river.
Woo-wee. Ain't no
Come on now.
How much of that water do you think they intook? That they had to just as soon as you got out.
I read an article with a Belgian athlete. Her name is Olian Vermeulen, and they said that he intook about 1 liter of that water.
Yeah.
And he said, I felt. he said, quote, I felt and saw things that I don't even want to talk about.
Oh.
They were swimming in human poop.
What?
They were swimming in human poop.
No, bruh.
Did you see Seth? I think his name is Seth Ryder. This is an American who finished 29th. This is what he said about. We know that there's
him.
We know that there's going to be some E. coli exposure. So I just try to increase my E. coli threshold by exposing myself to a bit of E. coli in your day-to-day life. Just little things throughout your day, like not washing your hands after you go to the bathroom and stuff like this. You got people rubbing poop on their hands to get ready for an Olympic sport. Maybe don't do that sport.
Bruh, and you finished 29th? You sucked in poop water to finish 29th, bruh?
You know what,
Listen,
Browner?
man.
Let me tell you something. When you make a good point, you make a good point.
Yeah.
And that's a good point because to swim in poop-infested water, human poop.
29th, bro.
It'd be 29th. What are you doing?
Come on, bro. You swimming in a turd. You 29th. Get out the water, bro. This ain't for you.
Oh my God. All right. Let's see. Let's try this. Here comes Scott. He's on the road, on his way to Mammoth. Scott, you jumped into a conversation about human poop. Right up your alley, my friend. Right up your alley.
Yeah, I'm driving. Rachel's playing
we
camera
can see
person. Are you guys able to hear me?
Yes.
Okay, because I got to tell you, my headphones are actually not connected. So I'm wearing them, but I'm not using them. So I'm using the microphone. First of all, I left this morning. I watched the show come on SportsGrid. I was using Amazon Prime.
Yeah.
Freaking amazing. Then I got in the car, and I can show you right here. Rachel can show you. I've got Kaplan and crew on Sirius channel 159. Incredible. Jeff Spiegel sounded great. And dude, I'm telling you right now, everybody's hitting me up about the death of 1090 as if like one guy, longtime listener, Avery Martinez, you know what he said to me? What are Browner and Alex going to do now that 1090's off the air? I'm like, are you out of your freaking mind?
Well, Scott, let me cut you off for a second because, since we're on Sirius and SportsGrid, we have a clock to follow. So we got to take this break. Do you want to come back on after the next segment?
Yes, I do.
All right. Great. Love that. When we come back, Scott on the road to Mammoth. This is Kaplan and crew. We'll be right back.
What has happened? What has transpired here at the First Bank Center here in Denver, Colorado? It wasn't just a big night of fights. It was a big night of memorable moments.
Conor McGregor with us here in Denver, Colorado. Good left hand from Ron Paul. Right hand, right back from Mike Perry.
Can I get a face-off with Conor McGregor, man?
It's an incredible setup here, incredible matchmaking, incredible storytelling. Oh, you had to come here. All these fighters that step in here, warriors, and all have my respect. And I'm into this game, yeah. We'll be into this, yeah.
And we are live here in the Maverick Center here in Salt Lake City. What a night. It is going to be historic indeed for BKFC 56.
Whoever's the king of violence right here, this is going to be a great fight.
Perry on the turn. Who's the king of violence? I am!
Combat fighting in its purest form, bare knuckle fighting in the city of angels.
We've got the biggest announcement in the BKFC history we're about to make, so let's make that announcement.
What's up, Knucklemania? The notorious Conor McGregor here. Ladies and gentlemen, the huge announcement that I have for you today. Conor McGregor, myself, and McGregor Sports and Entertainment is now an owner of Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship. Welcome to the big leagues. David Feldman, baby, we did it.
He's now an owner of BKFC with us, and we're going to take this motherfucking thing all the way to the top now.